Hey, welcome! You have made it. You're one of the lucky people to have gotten Counter-Strike 2 Early Access, or you're one of the people in the future that already has global release. Or you have Half-Life Alyx or something, which will make this tutorial really hard. Either way, we're mapping in Source 2 today. This is a tutorial with one goal in mind, and that is to show you how to make something that actually looks like it would fit in Counter-Strike, right? You're going to see a lot of tutorials, particularly as Counter-Strike 2 rolls out, that are fundamental, basics. How do I make a hallway, a blank room, a window, a door that opens, things of this nature, right? Because Source 2 comes with its own set of fundamentals that you need to learn. However, if you're a little bit past that and still kind of struggling with the concept of like, okay, I know how to extrude, I know how to like connect things a little bit, like how do I make something that looks legit? Like it belongs in Counter-Strike. Maybe this video could help. Either way, it's something that we're going to address today. This is a map that I'm working on currently. There's a lot going on. And I think I've learned enough that I can give you a quick little tutorial on making something like this. So we're going to make this wall, this building, and we're going to do it not in this map because this is the master and I don't want to fuck it up. So we're doing it over here. So I'm not in Fulbright mode, or I am in Fulbright, as you can see. And we have an empty space here. And we're gonna make a wall. So let's make a wall. Let's make a wall. Okay. Here's how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna call out everything. You can follow along. You can just drink coffee and watch. Do whatever you gotta do. Don't be naked, please. I'm going to go over into the toolbar on the left and select the block tool, okay? We're gonna drag out a block. Would you look at that? Look at that block. Okay. Now, immediately, this is a block and not a surface. Counter-Strike 2 works with surface. It's mesh-based, okay? In Source 1, if you're coming over from Source 1, how you would do this would be something like this, right? Where you would basically set it up like Lego bricks. You'd have something like that. You would have something like this. And you'd have something like that. And you would kind of outline your geometry in that way. That's not how this is going to fly, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this block. I'm going to press 3 on my keyboard, which selects the Faces tool, and I'm going to double-click this whole thing, hold down Control, select this surface, or deselects it, rather, and then press Delete. So now we have a flat surface. And I'm going to bring it in so it's flush with the floor. Perfect. That's a little high. I'm going to bring it down by selecting objects and then scaling it about yay high. That's about right. Maybe a little short. Just one up. Sure. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're going to build ourselves a framework to work with, okay? And we're going to start from the bottom and go up, okay? That's very important. And I'll explain why as we go into it. So let's press 2 on our keyboard, which selects the Edges tool. And we're going to select this edge over here. And by pressing T, it allows me to go into my translate mode. You know, Y-axis, Z-axis, the whole shablam. What we're going to do, scale it to about maybe right there. And we're going to hold down Shift and bring it out. Okay. And we're going to hold down Shift again. And we're going to bring it out. And we're going to hold down Shift again and bring it out. You see where I'm getting? Do you guys know what's going to happen next? Oh, it's a shocker. We're going to hold down Shift and we're going to bring it out. So we have this little outline here, this little framework for us to start working with. I'm going to select this edge, bring it in a little bit more, about right there. Bring this one in, maybe that one in a little bit, something like that. Just kind of whatever feels right. Doesn't have to be perfect. Feel it out, right? Like, we're all professionals here. That's why you're watching this tutorial. Now that we have this framework, what I'm going to do, I want to make sure I do this right. I'm going to press 3 and select Faces. Select this surface here in between these two. And we're going to hold down Shift, Bring it in 1, 2. Okay. We're going to do the same for this one. Hold down shift, 1, 2. Okay, so you can see the beginnings of it, right? At this point you can kind of, well, this isn't the texture that I want. I'm pressing faces, double clicking this, going into the texture tool. I'm gonna look for plaster. Okay. It's a little too orangey and a little too stony as it stands currently. So we're gonna find one. Where's it gonna be? Where are you, plaster? We gotta find the right tool. And the reason I'm applying the texture at this stage is I'm assuming you've made it past the point of block mapping, okay? Block mapping's purpose is to observe the flow, the gameplay, how the geometry affects the gameplay, yada yada. We're assuming you're in the art pass stage at this point. Yeah, perfect. Sometimes in Fulbright, things will look different. The lighting affects the texture, right? So in this case, it's a little lighter over here, but with the light environment I have in the map, it's affecting it in a way that makes it look yellow. So either way, you'll also see here that the brick is not applied here. So I'm just going to hold down shift with faces tool, right click on that, select these two surfaces by holding shift and press shift T, which applies it, okay? All right. So we have the beginning of our wall. What we're gonna do is add a little bit of detailed geometry, and what I mean by that is that these corners are really hard, okay? They're very hard. We want them to be soft. Source 2 has this really nifty effect that I'm about to show you called soft normals. So if we press 2 or go to Edges tool and select this edge and this edge, and then press V on our keyboard or connect over here. Boom, we make a little line. And we're gonna bring this in. I'm gonna change my grid size from 8 to 4, and I'm gonna do that by pressing the left bracket on my keyboard. Okay, so just to bring it in a little closer. We're gonna do it on this side as well. Bang, bring it in. And once we have this kind of cool little cuboid looking thing, I'm going to select this and hit soft normals over here on the left. And as you can see, it looks, well, I need to bake the lighting, but it has this, god damn it, stop trying to select it. It has this effect where it looks like a rounded corner. You see that? Visually, that just makes it look so much more realistic and so much cooler. So now we're gonna do that to this whole thing. And I'm gonna call it out real quick on a couple, then I'll skip. So hold that edge, hold down shift, press V, bring it in. Same for this one, hold shift, press V, bring it in. And we're gonna do it all the way around. There's faster ways to do this, but doing it manually for the time being, since this is a tutorial, I think is a good thing. I'm sunburnt to shit right now. I look horrible. It's okay. Why do I have a video camera for a tutorial? And we'll do it over here. Last one. This is going to be a bit of a longer tutorial. That's okay. I'm just going to show you my thought process, even if we make mistakes along the way. There's always a solution. Perfect. So we have the first part of our wall done. Now the reason earlier I said we need to build it from the ground up is because of this part. So I'm going to select this edge over here. Oh shit, I wonder if this is going to do me an oopsie. We're about to find out. So I'm going to press this edge, or select this edge rather. Come over to here, hold down shift, and double click. It selects the whole line, okay? It's easy. And we're gonna hold down shift, and we're gonna bring it up a little bit. Hold on, you can see we have an Ngon here. So you can see right here where I'm trying to make the trim that we had on the wall. Because then I would go up again, and you know, this is where we do the next part. But right here we have an Ngon, and this surface is touching 5 edges. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this ain't good. So Counter-Strike 2, it's not as bad like having Ngons as it was in Half-Life Alyx, for example. But this isn't optimal for the engine, and generally we want it to be cleaner than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look directly up, and I'm going to go over to the toolbar, select the clipping tool, click that, and I'm just going to bring it up so that we make a little cut here. And in the top left corner, there's this box with the 2 green things. I'm circling it with my cursor. Select that, and that keeps both cuts. Right, boom. Now we've fixed the Ngon. Everything's connected by 4 surfaces. And that's just better for optimization. This is something that you should kind of get in the habit of, is cleaning up any Ngons that you see. It's just not optimal. We don't want it. The engine doesn't like it. No one's happy. I'm not happy. You're probably not happy having to do this. It's grunt work, but it's honest work. You know what I mean? It has to be done. But that's clean. It's professional. That's what we want. So this is where our trim will be. I'm wondering if that's a little thin. Hold down shift on this line and bring it up slightly. Is that too thick? We're going to roll with that. Okay. And up here, I'm just going to extend it a bit higher. About right there. Wondering if this is too tall. We may have made this bottom part a little too tall. I'm starting to realize. Should I fix it? This is a question you need to ask yourself. Do you fix it? Let me see what happens if I do that. Nope, that's no good. Fixing this, not easy at this stage because we've really lined up everything. But if I select all these edges, let me just see what happens real quick. This could be a shit show in the making. But let's say we wanted to scale it back down a little bit. If I have all these selected, bring it down. Okay, I mean, it seems, oh, didn't have one selected. Bring it down. This is just scary doing something like this because you never know what could be like freaking out in the engine. It's okay. We mess up. I want to show you what it looks like if you mess up, how you can fix it. There's always a solution, okay? And that's by selecting every edge and bringing it down. Okay. Let's say that's about right. Now we can grab this edge, bring our trim back down to there, bring the top down slightly. And that's a bit better proportions. Man, the texture is funky. It's like making me trip out thinking something's wrong. I'm just selecting all these faces. And I'm pressing align over here in the modified texture area. I'm circling with my mouse. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's just playing with my eyes a little bit. What I'm going to do to stop that from happening, I think, is I'm going to, with the faces tool selected, select all these surfaces. And we're going to turn it into a trim. And I'm visualizing it. This will help me visualize it better. And we're going to use something called the fast texture tool in the left. Circling with my mouse, we're going to select that. And this is cool because it allows us to play with how this texture appears on this surface. How do we want it to look? I'm feeling like the middle should look a little less ornate than the top trim. So we're just going to drag it up and down until we get something we're happy with. And I'm feeling right there. Or is it here? Do I like that better? Let's do that for a second. It's very orange. Let's try the one that I was thinking of. Fast texture fuck off. Fast texture tool. and then bring it up. Let's try that. Still is very orange. So you can see the texture is kind of scaled funny now. Select all the surfaces. I'm going to go over to this X scale over here. I'm going to do 0.20. And that should fix it. Now, there's a lot of repeating there, which I don't know about. It's okay. I think that looks interesting in a way. Why not? Let's do it. It could be worse. And we're going to do the same up here. We're going to hold down Shift, select these edges, bring it up slightly, about like that, and select these surfaces with the face tool, and press Shift T, which puts the trim on it. We're going to do the fast texture tool nonsense one more time, but I want this ornate one up here at the top. I think that'll look kind of nifty. So press X. Then over here in the scale, in the texture state, circling with my mouse, do 0.25. Would you look at that? As you can see, it's kind of getting cut off a little bit on the sides. I could fix that by selecting it, playing around with the Shift X axis a little bit, bringing it in. You know, it's you got to play around with it a little bit. That seems to be working. Okay. All right, it's starting to come together a little bit. With the faces tool selected, gonna select that. Going to select this and these surfaces. Oh, I did an oopsie. So I selected everything. Hold down Shift and just kind of drag across until we have everything selected. And then press T, hold down Shift, drag it out. So now we have a little bit of depth to our wall, right? So it's not flat. You can see the texture under here ain't great. Press Shift T, get the trim on this as well. You can see it's rotated funny. We're going to select it, go to rotate here in the texture state area, press 90. And yeah, that works. Surprisingly, that works. And I guess we're going to have to do it down here too, aren't we? Gosh dang it. All right, Shift T, could do 90. Bada bing. Cool. So we have the wall. It's coming together. Oh man, I've been talking for a minute. Sorry guys, this is a longer one. I know it doesn't seem like we've done much, but we're getting there, okay? So this wall, we forgot to do our indentations. So I'm going to select these surfaces, bring it in just 1, 2. Perfect. So it's not as far as this one. It's a little bit more shallow. Reasons. Because I said so. And it doesn't make a difference that's really noticeable, but there's a slight deviation there, and I think it looks kind of nifty, so why not? Not everything has to be rocket science here. You can see the trim is looking funny there, so I'm going to press Shift T with the plaster texture. Boom. Piecemeal, little by little. You see, it takes time. These things, they take time. So we have the wall. It's a very basic wall, not a lot to do. Not a lot going on here. What we need to do is add some planters. This is where it can get a little funky, okay? So this mesh, if I press objects and select it, is its own entity, right? It's its own thing. It lives and breathes by itself as its own mesh. It's not connected to the floor. It's not connected. It is connected to that floor. That should be okay. But it's not, there's no Ngons here. Like we made sure of that. It's not touching another mesh in a funny way, or it is actually, but like that doesn't matter because it's its own mesh. And if it's its own mesh, everything's fine. The engine won't freak out. I got really paranoid about that when I was first mapping for Source 2. I thought every line had to be connected all the way through the map. That's not the case. So I'm saying that because this planter, we're gonna make some planters. And we're going to do it with plaster texture. I'm going to go over here to the block tool, select that, bring it out. And we're going to scale this up. I I'm going to put an info player start entity here just so I can kind of get the feel of like how tall it should be. And I'm going to press faces and delete this bottom face. Okay, so, and actually I'm going to delete this face too because it's not needed. I'm going to select the object, and you can see this is its own mesh, right? Why is that? Because I don't want to have to carve into the entire mesh and bring this out in order for this to work. You know, it should be fine. Fuck. Okay, I said fucking cut there because I was like, am I really sure that this is the case? Here's the deal. The engine can handle it. I've done this before. The engine can handle it. At scale, it can handle it in weird ways. So we're doing it this way, and I'm not going to let the Half-Life Alyx and me freak out because of the Source 2 fuckery. This is going to be its own mesh touching this mesh, okay? And I don't give a damn. And I'm offsetting it because I think that looks cooler. It's more natural that way. Not all geometry has to be perfect, you know, flushed with like the wall. In fact, a lot of architecture is not like that out in the real freaking world, okay? And because of this map and what I'm doing, the aesthetic is kind of funky. And so I want to bring it in a little bit. Now, the planter. So I wonder how thick we should make it. About right there. Because what I'm going to do is with this face selected, and hold down shift, bring it out. And that will be the beginning of this part. In fact, this is a little thick. Hold down shift, bring it in one. That's a bit better. Okay. So with this surface selected, hold down shift, we'll bring it out. Now you can see no Ngons. No little Ngons here on this mesh. And we'll bring it out to connect to this surface. Why not? So I'm going to bring it back a little bit actually because I'm going to extrude it. Holding shift, then we're going to select this surface, hold down shift, and bring it in. Perfect. Would you look at that? Now I've complicated this a little bit for myself because we're going to add dirt into it, right? And this isn't a flush shape, right? So we're going to have to get a little creative with it. Okay, so we have a planter. I'm actually going to bring these surfaces on top down a notch in preparation for what we'll be doing next. Let's do that part right now. So we need to make a trim on top. So I'm gonna have these surfaces selected, hold down shift, bring it up one. It's a little thick. I'm gonna Control Z that, and we're gonna change our grid to 2. Bring it up one. That's a bit better. Okay. You can see the beginning of the trim that we're going for here. I'm gonna hold down shift on these surfaces, hold down shift, bring it out one. Same for these. Bring it out one, boink. And hold down shift for these, bring it out one, boink. Perfect. I'm gonna hold down shift and right click on this brick texture. And we're going to select all of these surfaces, including the bottom. I see you. Shift. Shift, 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 shift. Shift, 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 shift. And shift, 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 shift. Shift T. Bang. We have bricks. Now I'm going to go over here into the modify texture area and hit a line. And you can see it's sort of off scale. We can fix this. I can fix this by messing around with the values. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to make it like super perfect for this tutorial, but you know, you play around with the scale of everything and eventually you'll get there, okay? It's good enough. All right, it's good enough. What I notice is on the bottom, I actually have some surfaces that I don't need, so I'm just going to delete these. And boom, we have the beginning of a planter. And we need dirt. We need it. How are we going to do that? Well, we're in a pickle because this is a weird setup for dirt. I'm going to do this the lazy way. I'm going to go to dirt, the rough ground dirt, and I'm going to use the block tool again. Now, this may seem lazy. It kind of is, but the engine can handle it. Okay? I need to increase my grid size again. The engine will be okay. It's not going to freak out too much as long as we're careful and we don't do things that are this stupid all the time. Hold down shift. We're going to cut into the wall. And then we're going to delete this surface that's not visible, okay? We're going to do that by selecting with the face tool, go to clipping tool, going like that. And then I don't need... Whoa. What's the clipping tool doing? Clipping tool, what are you doing? Sometimes it can be a little finicky. You will do what I say. I think it's trying to cut it vertically. See that? Yes. Something ain't right. So we just gotta play around with it. There we go. Goodbye. Okay. So now, hold down shift, right click on it. I wonder if we can combine faces. Combine faces. Blah, 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 whatever. And boom. Lazy way, done. It's okay. It'll work. And now we need this planter. So I'm going to do the same kind of thing, except we're not going to have like a funky, length to it. It's going to be from this to that. So we go to the block tool and we're just going to do the same old thing again. God damn it. And we're going to hold down shift. We're going to scale it up. About right there. Yeah, I like the idea of this planter being a little skewed. It's not perfectly in line. Okay, a little thin. We're going to delete the unneeded surfaces. We're actually going to bring this face in a little bit. Hold down shift, bring it out. Bring it out one more. And that surface, we're going to hold down shift, bring it out. About right there. Ah, shit. Little bit, and then hold down shift, bring it out more. And we're going to bring this one in. Booyah. Now look under it for any surfaces that you don't need. Kablamo. Would you look at that? Now we need the trim. Hold down shift. Translate, hold down shift, bring it up. A little too thick. Decrease the grid size down to 2. Boom, and repeat. Repeat. This is the fun part, guys. This is the fun part. Perfect. Okay, so I went ahead and applied the brick texture. Kind of skipped some of the more monotonous stuff there. Dirt. Dirt. Oh yeah, dirt. It's dirt time. Same process, okay? It's its own thing. This is the dirty part. Not proud of this part, but it is okay. We will survive. The engine will be okay. Control delete, boom, okay. Now it's cutting in. That is not good. We're going to clip it. We're going to do a little crisscross applesauce here and over here. And if I press faces and select holding shift these, delete, boom, we have dirt. Now, Ngons or Ngons and Ngons or Ngons. One thing I could do, well, if I merge these meshes together, it'll become one big Ngon. That's not exactly what we're looking for, so I'm going to ignore it and just have it be its own mesh. I would probably do this a little bit cleaner in the final, but it's okay. It'll do the job. You guys get the point. There'll be optimization stuff to do in the future. It's not going to destroy anything. Go to prop static. Now we're going to start set dressing. This is the fun part. In fact, I'm going to bake the lighting real quick. Boom. Look at that. As you can see, it's coming together a little bit. We're getting some weird shadow artifacts right there. That's okay. It's coming together. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And this is a big step, you know. Big step. Starting to see it materialize before your eyes. So, the fun part, we're going to set dress it. We're going to add props. We're going to add the fun stuff. And this is what's really going to bring it to life, okay? So I'm going to go to the entity tool on the left and place an entity, prop static. You can select it. You can type it in, prop static. This is a carryover from source 1. Okay, we have way too many prop statics. Get out of here. Double click that one. We're going to go to world model, this little magnifier glass. We're going to find olive hedge 03. It's a little big. And you can see the shrubbery's kind of growing that way. So I'm going to rotate it around by pressing R and then dragging the wheel around. Bring it in. Bring it down. And then we need to scale this. So I'm going to press Shift S and squish it. And drag it. And you can see it's clipping into the fucking thing. So technically, I'm gonna bring it into the wall a little bit more. That's way too much. Okay, bring it up. Bring it up more. How high does it want to go? Okay, it's not even touching the dirt now. That's not good. I'm gonna press R and rotate it. Okay. With lighting, that doesn't look too bad. And then I'm going to bring it out a little bit. Okay. So as you can see, you can kind of get it to where it needs to go. You just kind of have to play around with the model. And we're going to pull down Shift and bring it over here. Scale it down. Shift S. Bring it down a little bit. This one isn't clipping in as much. And F6 to preview the lighting. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. So we got actual plants now. That's nice. What else does this thing need? In the other map, I had torches. So I'm going to go to prop static again. And we're going to look up torch. Light. Rather light. Just light. Until we find the weird sconce looking crap. You can use any light that you want. Fuck that. I know I have it over here. Hello. So it's DE Mirage Lamp. That's what I should have typed in. Okay. Either way, I'm just going to paste in that lamp from over there. And I'm going to rotate it. And you can see this thing is huge. So I'm going to go to the scale tool here in the left, circling it with the mouse. And I'm going to push it down, 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 down. Yeah, that's acceptable. I'm going to Control X, Control V, and then move it around so it's on grid. And boom. Align it. Cool. I'm also going to show you how I got the green lights into it. I'm going to go to File, Open. And here under CSGO add-ons, your add-on maps, content example, you'll see lighting info. And they have some cool stuff in here. I chose this one. I think that's dope. There's other fun stuff in here, but not applicable. Actually, it was this one, sorry. Light Omni 2 light cookies. Press Control C. Go back over to the tutorial map. Not that one, that was my failed one. And we're gonna press Control V. And F6, so I can kinda. So I'm gonna double click on this light, and in here in color, I'm gonna turn it green. Why green? Because this aesthetic, it calls for it. And we're gonna bring it in right there. You can see it's kind of casting shadow, or like, you know, the cool light, like a cool light effect there. It's not fully in. I'm gonna shrink my grid size down to 1. Get it in there perfectly. Boom. And grid size back to 4. I'm gonna have that light selected, press shift, click the torch, hold down shift, drag it over, make a copy. And same thing for this one. Almost aligned. Go to grid size 2, boom. All right, boom, would you look at that? What else do we need? We need foliage going up the wall. Let's go to prop static. This is where you can really start getting creative and play around with it. Foliage. Some cool grapevine stuff going on here. What's this one? Grapevine 04. Ooh. Would you look at that? I'm gonna have to bring that over into my actual map. I didn't notice that. Why is it growing out of the ceiling, Dred? Why not? Sometimes you guys gotta stop looking at everything so literally. It's okay. No one's really gonna notice. Unless it's really, really egregious. There's this cool urban vine one. This wall is gonna be real crazy. We need to scale this down. So I'm gonna go to the scale tool on the left here and shrink it in. We'll have this one be a little tiny one over here. Whoa. Maybe a little bigger than that. I'm gonna rotate it slightly. We're gonna scale it again, but bring it up. Right there. It's not quite flush with the wall yet. Do about like that. See how cool is that? Look, it's coming together. Then if you really want to start doing more stuff, we could have it snake up the wall a little bit. There's another grapevine one I was looking at earlier, this one. I'm gonna rotate this, press R, rotate it down, bring it around. It's kind of like it's hanging over, you know. I feel like Bob Ross talking. I just did a little happy vine hanging around. And it's cutting into the trim. Bring it out a little bit. And I could go further up the wall, and maybe that would be a good idea. As if it's kind of like, you know, there's growths and stuff. Yeah, why not? That's cool. I like that. Let's add some more stuff. Let's go to prop static. Place another one. Let's do sign. I think I had this one. Press Control X, Control V. It's facing the wrong way. Rotate it. Rotate it. Control X, Control V. And we're gonna move it around so it's on grid. About like that. This wall over here is a little empty, but we don't want a sign. What would be good there? Well, let's do the pipes. In the other map, I had pipes. So I have this pipe set. It's also not textured, but we'll fix that in a second. We're gonna rotate it. Now in the other version, I had it going across this bottom area, but we are free to do whatever we want. And this one will go up here, fill in some of the space. Why not? Before you ask yourself why, ask yourself why not? And it's still a little empty here. Maybe we'll add a vent. Just want a vent, please. There we go, wall vent. Control X, Control V, bring it around. We'll have two. Be a little industrial. And we'll have a pipe down here too. We're gonna scale it. Bring it around so it's on grid. Nice. It's not perfect. These aren't textured. So if we go to render properties and we go to override material, search metal. Just need a pretty generic metal. Let's do metal hull, why not? Sure. Okay, I don't know if I like how the pipe's up there and then now it's down here. I need something else down here. Let's do wire. Yeah, let's do this one. And we rotate it around. And we bring it on down. Make sure it's flush with the wall. Now it is. Oh, look at that. See how it's coming together? See that? So cool. And we're gonna go to roof. We search roof. And I found these cool roof thingy-langs. Now if I bring them out, they're facing a weird way. I think normally you would align them like this. That makes the most sense. On the current version of the map, I haven't... What the fuck is going on? I have them going the opposite way, just because I was like, why not? Why not? But we'll do it properly for this one. My clock is just going crazy in the background. I apologize. And we'll bring it over. Let's hold down Shift. Perfect. Bring it over some more. Perfect. Just add a little bit of fun. Up top, we're going to add a little rooftop element with another prop static from Mirage. Roof is still being searched, and I found something nifty. You could use any of these, honestly. Oh, here it is. Dust rooftop deco. It's not textured. We'll override that. Bring it in a bit. And we're going to go to render properties when we double click it. Go to override material. Do dust. Or let's do plaster again so it matches the wall. It's not really... What the fuck? It didn't save. It did. We'll do plaster yellow wall. Give it a little bit more texture. That's okay. Perfect. So we have a detailed wall here. Look at that. How do we get it to wrap around, you may ask? We select this edge and this edge. And we hold Shift, select the line, hold down Shift, bring it in. Bring it in, bring it in, boom. Now right here is where I added the window. I'm not gonna do that since this tutorial is like 60 minutes long. I'm gonna bake the lighting and show you the product where we're at. All right, look at that. We basically rebuilt it. Everything here works. It's not 100% perfect. I would definitely do a little bit more detailing. In fact, we forgot to do these soft normals up here. There's little things that I missed. That's okay. You know, overall, this looks pretty good, I would say. There we go. Give it some soft normals. That was kind of a long tutorial. But I think if you're interested in Counter-Strike 2 mapping or Source 2 mapping in general, it's good to watch someone just put something together like that. By the end, you've seen my thought process. You've seen me run up against problems, troubleshoot problems, how I've thought about it. And that just helps unlock it in your own brain a little bit more. And when you go in to make your own maps, you have a little bit more confidence. You have like, oh, I could maybe try that route or do what he did, or you know, it just unlocks neural pathways basically. So regardless, oh my God, I'm sunburnt, you see. That was making the wall in Counter-Strike 2. I'm going to drink a big glass of water. My throat is dry. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Hopefully you have access to Counter-Strike 2. Can't wait for it to release globally, and keep an eye out for the map. Once it's at that point, I'll be putting a trailer out and everything. So thanks again for watching, and I appreciate it so much. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you.